one can do is sing oh eh, oh. Show the world you got that fire. Feel the rhythm getting louder. Show the room what you can do. Prove to them you got the moves. Hey, I don't know about you, but I feel better when I'm dancing. Yeah, yeah, I'm better when I'm dancing.
Hey guys and girls of YouTube land and Facebook. So today I'm doing meal prep. So far for you I've done my grocery haul, and I kind of did the first meal in that video, which was the chicken Alfredo. We're going to put that over zucchini noodles. I still have to go get the zucchini noodles because I forgot those, so I'm going to go back to the store in a little while and get those. And then the second video should be the King Ranch chicken, which was amazing. I did not use, let me kind of go back to the old me. I used to use, and let me show you real quick, these cream of, I mean this is chicken noodle, but it was the Campbell's cream of chicken soup, or the cheesy cheddar and the broccoli cheddar and the cream of mushroom. All of those have a lot of carbs in them. Average cream of anything is 14 grams of carb per serving, which is half of the can. To me, that's not acceptable for someone who's on the keto diet. So I had to come up with a different solution, which is why I did the cheese sauce I showed you guys how to do in the King Ranch video. It's just a cup of chicken broth. You could use other broth, I'm sure. I just haven't tried it with beef or anything else. You use chicken broth. You use 3 tablespoons of cottage cheese. It did call for sour cream. I used cottage cheese because it's higher in protein and less carbs, and it tasted just fine. It was really amazingly good. And then I did 3/4 teaspoons of the guar gum. Guar gum is about $9 for a bag of Bob's Red Mill. It's worth it. If you've never worked before with it, you need to make sure you're wearing clothes that, or an apron or something, because that stuff is really slimy and it takes a lot to wash off once you get in contact with water. It is like a gum paste, so it's not thick, but it's not thin. It just kind of is like a gelatinous mixture. And when you put it on your clothing, for some reason, it doesn't wash out very well. So it can mess up your clothes. Make sure you're wearing an apron or some old clothes. I'm used to using it, so it doesn't bother me anymore. So the first meal that I did was the King Ranch chicken away from the Alfredo. So that's the first 2 nights. We actually ate the King Ranch chicken, or I ate the King Ranch chicken for dinner tonight because it was already done, and I had to do my homework. Then I did the stuffed bell peppers, which was a very simple recipe. It was ground Italian sausage with 3 bell peppers, 3 bell peppers for serving, a green bell pepper for cooking with the onions. This is like a mixed set of onions. Trying to see where it says what's in here. It says yellow onions, bell pepper, celery, green onions, parsley, and garlic. I mean, this was what, none of the recipes I used called for all of this mix. I just found this ready-made at the store, and I was like, I can make several recipes with that, so I'm going to use that. So I mixed a cup of that with a half cup of the green bell pepper. It was the rest of the green bell pepper that I had left. Sauteed them in some butter. I used 2 tablespoons of butter for the bell peppers recipe. Sauteed that till the onions were clear and the peppers were soft. I then did the ground sausage. Ooh, that went way out of focus. Did the ground sausage, stirred it up, made sure it got cooked through, added a half cup of the, of the Rayo's sauce. It has 4 grams of carb per serving, and a serving is a half cup. I used a half cup in the sauce, or in the sausage, which made 3 servings. So 3 ways, you do the math, it's like a carb, roughly 1.5 carbs, maybe, if that. So it's not much at all. And then of course you have to figure in the carbs for the vegetables too. It's still not that big of a difference. It's negligible. I took about a half cup of, maybe 2/3 cup of shredded mozzarella and mixed that in. I threw in about 6 or 7 pieces of pepperoni, stirred that in, cut the heat off, let it sit for a minute, cut up my bell peppers, prepared them, stuffed them. I didn't put more mozzarella on top, but we will when we bake them. I'll take those out the day of that meal. Let them thaw overnight, or thaw overnight. Thaw during the day. We'll put them in the air fryer for about 20 minutes at 400 degrees, and we'll put more cheese on top of them and let it get all melty and gooey, and that'll be really nice and good. I've had jalapeno peppers, like the stuffed jalapeno peppers. I did them in this air fryer and they worked just fine. In fact, it made the skin get really soft, so you didn't have that chewy. I don't like crunch in my peppers. I love bell peppers, but I cannot eat them fresh. They just don't taste good to me. So it's a texture thing. It is what it is, whatever. So those are those meals that I've done so far. I'm about to do a really simple meal, and it's another one that I used to use the cream of soup mixes for before. So I'm gonna make a batch of my sauce, but first I'm gonna do more onions. I'm not gonna do any more well, I think I will do some bell peppers. I'm gonna chop up some of the mini bell peppers that we have. Not many of them because Scott's not a big bell pepper person. I'll saute those with the onions. I normally don't do those in this recipe, but since I have them, I'm just going to use them up or they're going to go bad. So I'm going to use about a half cup of onions, and I'll use a few of the bell peppers. I'll make the sauce, and then we'll come back and I'll throw everything together for you, and you can see how it turns out. I'm not going to bake that tonight. I'm just going to cook the ingredients that need to go into it, and then we'll throw that into the freezer for later this week. So I'll be right back. So just a quick edit I wanted to put in here. This is cauliflower. It looks just like broccoli. It's a big head of like, looks like a piece of like brain or something, like white brain. It's crazy way to say it, but if you've never had cauliflower before, it's a life changer. I used to not want to touch it. It wasn't until a couple of years ago that I really honestly gave it a try. This recipe usually calls for rice. My friend Diane made it for me and my family when we were going through a difficult time, and I really liked it. The family liked it, so we've been kind of making it, but because I can't have the rice, and because I'm mostly ketogenic as far as our family's lifestyle, or I'm mostly ketogenic, they just do it to suffer through with me. The cauliflower rice is something that I like, and you do get tired of it if you overdo it, but this is not a bad flavor. It's really well if you prepare it really well, really good if you prepare it well. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to rice it. I'm not going to take out my food processor. I'm just going to use my blender and my Ninja, and I'm going to use that to mix in with the broccoli to act as a rice. It's going to get softer. It's not going to have the same consistency as rice, but you really won't be able to tell a difference. Okay, guys and girls, alright, so this is the cauliflower rice. It's kind of hard to see, but it's a pretty nice consistency. It's it sticks to your ribs. It's the best way to put it. This is quite a bit. This is one of those little dishes, the freezer meal dishes from Walmart. So this is about almost a whole head of cauliflower. I put it in my Ninja. It's not cooked. You can buy it like this at the store. You don't have to do this whole thing if you don't have a Ninja or a food processor or whatever. You don't have to do it this way. Oop, there's a big chunk. That really won't hurt anything, but just in case. So what I'm going to do now is I have broccoli florets right here. These are fresh broccoli florets. I don't know what that spinach is doing in there, but whatever, we'll figure it out. Those are going to get mixed together at the end. I'm going to go ahead and chop up my bell peppers now, and then I'll get started on the sauce and the onions. Hey guys and girls, welcome back. So I've gone ahead and mixed in everything. I kind of heated up the cauliflower just a little bit to break it up and soften it, so we don't want it to be too stiff. I put in about 1.5 chicken breasts and just some little pieces here and there. I put the broccoli in and started cooking that just a little bit. I think it'll help the cooking process when we do cook it. So now all I need to do is put in about a cup to a cup and a half of cheddar cheese and do the cheese sauce. I might not do the extra cheese. I might just do the cheese sauce and do the cheese on top after we cook it. I think that will make the flavor a little bit better, and it'll lower the fat content just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, and this is a lot of food. I'm going to have to break this into 2 meals, which is not a bad thing. So I'm going to go ahead and mix everything up in this pan since it's big enough, and then I'll separate it probably into a freezer bag and one of these little tins, because that'll make enough food. If it were me eating it, I'd be eating it for a month. way too much food for me. But between me, Hannah, and Scott, we'll eat all that. So it'll probably last us, like I said, 2 meals. 1 meal we could probably finish in a day or 2. So it'll give us about 4 days worth of food. So that's not too bad. I'll be back when it's complete. Hey guys and girls. Okay, so this is the mixture I made. Sorry. It's not real drippy. I'm going to try to see if I can pour it and show you what it looks like. This is the mixture. This was originally just a little bit, like 3 tablespoons of, whatchamacallit, 3 tablespoons of cottage cheese and a cup of warm chicken broth. I did not have chicken broth anymore. I used it all up. And I didn't realize I was going to like this recipe for the cheese sauce, so I didn't buy enough chicken broth, which I need to buy more of because I'll probably be making this quite a bit. It's like a protein sauce, like a protein cheese sauce. Anyway, but I went ahead and put a cup of the warm water in there to make it, and did the 3 tablespoons, exactly 3 tablespoons of cottage cheese, and then I put exactly 3/4 teaspoons of the guar gum. Let me see if I can find the bag real quick. Had this for a while. It goes a long way. This is the Bob's Red Mill guar gum. I think I paid $9.99 for the bag, so it's not a bad deal. So now what I'm going to do is heat up the sauce and add my cheese to it and just stir the heck out of it. It's going to thicken up really quickly, and it's going to look too thick. Once the cheese starts to melt and the fat gets into the mixture, it'll thicken up and be nice and cheesy, and there shouldn't be any issues. Oops, there shouldn't be any issues with it, other than the fact that I just spilled cheese all over my stove and my floor. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that taken care of real quick, and I will be back in just a few minutes. Hey guys and girls, YouTube land. So this is the finished sauce. It's kind of hard to see. I'm gonna go ahead and just pour it on over the broccoli and the chicken and the cauliflower rice and all the other goodies in there. I am going to have to scrape it a little bit. My spoon that my mother-in-law got me was in the sink, and now it's not, so I couldn't wash it to use it. So I'm going to have to use these flat spoons. It doesn't look like that much sauce, but it really doesn't take much. It's so fluid, I guess. It's still thick enough, but it's so fluid from the cheese while it's still setting up that it's not going to really affect the viscosity of the finished product. And you don't really want too much cheese in this dish. This is just kind of to bind the casserole together. I think this is going to be the perfect amount for such a big serving. I think if I had just made that small serving for this one pan right here, it really would have been too much cheese. I think this is just perfect. So again, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take half of that and put it in this pan that I have the cauliflower in, and then put that in the freezer, and then I'll put the rest of it in a freezer bag, and that will make 2 dinners. Thanks. Hey people, okay, so we've got 2 meals here. This is the cheddar broccoli cauliflower casserole. I've got the leftover sausage pepper mix from the stuffed peppers. I'm going to try to figure something out to do with that. Chicken Alfredo. It's already all frozen. These are our bell peppers. Those are going to sit up there. Let's see. Sorry, my counter is a hideous mess because I haven't cleaned as I was going. And of course, there's the last 3 servings of the King Ranch chicken. I don't know if anybody's going to eat this tomorrow, so if they don't, this is going to be for me, for work for the week, and for tomorrow. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 meals there. I'm about to make my jalapeno poppers in a little bit, and then I still have to make the fish, and I haven't even made the shrimp yet. So I don't have the stuff for the shrimp, so I'm going to wait to do the fish and the shrimp until last. But I am going to make these jalapeno poppers now. I'm going to prepare them, but I'm not going to cook them until probably tomorrow. I am going to freeze them. I want to see how they cook when they're frozen. So I'm going to prepare them and then I'll cook them tomorrow. But that's it for now. Thanks, guys.